swimming isn't an after-school activity. It is a life
It's a
skill.
life skill, yes.
So that is, you don't go to school and learn to read for a term and then you're the
That's
best
it.
reader.
I've left school.
I've left
Don't
school,
need to
I'm
read
done.
now.
So-
Yeah, good point.
Welcome to Fika's Focus. Voices leading change.
All right, kia ora everyone. We are here with Dan Fulton. Dan is in from Fulton Swim School. Welcome, Dan.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
We're really excited to talk to you. So just a connection there was with Vicky. Vicky was part of our team once upon a time, but we actually dragged her out of King's Swimming School up there. She was at King's College, I think, or King's Preparatory. And she was actually extremely passionate about swimming. And then we had a little bit of a relationship initially, but then COVID really threw it. But we're back here and we really want to get this going. But we want to really shed some light on the great things you do and obviously the importance of being able to swim since we're on a damn island. So yeah, Dan, tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey, and then we'll just go on from there.
Okay, so we've been a part of the Papamoa community for nearly a year now. I started Fulton Swim School when I was sort of fresh out of high school and at the age of 18. I was a competitive swimmer back in the day and knew that I just had an absolute passion for teaching swimming and learn to swim and keeping people in the water and safe in and around the water. So that was where I sort of started. Right. Had no idea what I was going to do with my life, and as I came out of school, I thought, look, this is the only thing I know how to do. I know how to teach swimming, I know how to swim, and did that as an after-school job, and it all sort of started from there. So started at my local primary school in the cold outdoor pool, and then everything sort of just grew from there organically, and now we've got 6 locations throughout the North Island, with Papamoa being our latest place
Acquisition, yeah. And so just go back into this. So you competitively swim, and there's a lot of Kiwi kids that get up first thing in the morning and grind in that space. I know that's still a thing in New Zealand, and obviously we think of people like Daniel Loader and all those sorts of individuals that have done that. But that passion to actually teach swimming, what's that driven by?
I think it's just probably when I was a kid, I was that typical kid that went to school without knowing how to swim. And that was the one thing that I remember as, new entrant going into school in the summer, trying to get in the pool, screaming my head off and not wanting to get in. So school had to call my parents, and then that was when my learn to swim journey started. I learned to swim in a cold pool, which was in somebody's backyard garage. It was bright green, I remember. And I just thought from there, look,
Like an above ground one, or
above ground para pool.
Yeah, para pool. Yeah.
Just in somebody's garage.
Yeah, showing your age now, but yeah.
And I could just remember it was freezing cold and dirty and green, but I learned to swim. So, they obviously did something great there. But, and that was where I suppose that side of things started. And I could just see, like you mentioned before, being a school teacher is tough work, and you've got a class full of 30 kids. How on earth are you actually going to achieve that? So I went into my local primary school just thinking I could make a difference and help them out, basically.
Yeah, it's an entrepreneurial spirit is kind of see a gap, see a need, fill a need, right? I think. But the importance of swimming and just, unfortunately, swimming pools are disappearing out of schools. We've recently just had a brand new primary school built here, no pool. Pat Primary's got a pool. Is that their pool or is it
that
attached?
Is their pool, I believe,
but none of the other major primary schools have pools. And what we had when we were kids is now null and void. Whether it's been health and safety out or costed out or both, it's had dire circumstances now. As we start to see every summer, multiple drownings happening, and that's a major issue.
Yes, absolutely.
So, in that sense, Dan, when you're taking a screaming child into your pool, what does it look like as a group size, And with your tutor, or your swim instructor, what does that look like?
Yeah, so pretty much so we'll be dealing with, we teach children from 3 months all the way up through to adults, but for for your average preschooler, they'll come into a group of exactly the same, like non-confident kids with an experienced instructor, maximum of 4 children in a class, and it's just a nice, encouraging environment. At Papamoa, we've made this awesome facility, nice and bright and funky and really welcoming for the children to go into. So again, as soon as they enter, they should feel nice and relaxed and thinking, oh wow, this is actually a cool space.
Yeah.
And our instructors as well are just here. The very nice, experienced instructors have at least sort of 5+ years experience with the younger age groups and are just awesome people. So you've got to be a really special person to be a teacher to begin with, but then also to be in the pool
all day
as a career.
Yes,
as
I know.
you go, you've got to be that extra special person, and you've actually got to have a passion for it. So all of our teachers have a great passion for the industry and the learning to swim and just getting to learn about each individual child's needs and encouraging them and bringing out the best of them and changing their lives.
You said 3 months. I know that'll surprise a lot of parents. I've seen it and I've been lucky, but it's actually amazing watching it. But what does that look like in essence? Because there'd be lots of families, they wouldn't even think that.
Yes. So at 3 months, I had my son in, so he's 5 now at 3 months, and that's when we sort of introduced the program, because I wasn't quite comfortable in introducing that until I had experienced it with my own son.
Of course.
So
that's cool to hear.
It's incredible. It's such a great child bonding relationship that goes on with the parent, but it's also an incredible experience for the child that they're just at one with the water, basically. They're nice and relaxed and just going through the motions and enjoying it. And if your child has trouble sleeping, then that's the best thing you can do is take them to a swimming lesson, and then after that they're asleep. So.
and what does it look like from the parents' side in the participation space? So obviously they've got their child, but what are they doing in that time?
So it's a really nice, encouraging sort of environment to be in, and we basically take them through the motions of how to keep their child safe in the water, how to do all the holds, how to condition children, so it's not just dunking them under the water, it's making sure that the child is actually ready for that side of things. And it's a great opportunity for parents to actually ask questions about, especially at the 3 month age group, is bath time and getting them used to bath time and all that sort of thing, because we actually aid with the conditioning. So 1, 2, 3, tip a cup of water on your head, and just those cue words that little baby will understand what's coming, and be ready for that.
Okay, that's cool. And Dan, and let's go back to screaming 5-year-old Dan. So you're starting at 5. A child's coming in at 5. Yeah. They haven't had the 3 month old, and they what does it look like in a conditioning space there? Because there is an ingrained fear, especially if a parent carries anxiety around water, and this is actually the consequence of not having pools in schools. We have mums and dads, or mums in particular, that carry anxiety, and so they're going to carry that anxiety in with their children. So we've got Dan, the 5-year-old, screaming, and we need no experience. What does that look like?
Again, that's just our great instructors taking charge of that and seeing how that child looks as they're coming into the facility, and taking them by the hand almost, and building that relationship right from the start. And we just take everything really, really slow, and we push children to their boundaries. However, we're always aware of what they can do and can't do. So it's just that encouraging environment, starting off slow and then progressing in those little building steps all the way through.
Can you describe the pool? Because it's not like it's like a diving pool.
No. So it's a nice shallow pool. So it sort of caters for all abilities. So all the way from babies where the parents in the pool with the baby, you can stand up and with comfort in there, nice and warm, 32 degrees. In-ground pool, so you come into our nice facility and you just see these 2 beautiful big big blue pools. And we've got a shallow end and a deep end. So basically the shallow end goes one level all the way through, and then it sort of drops out. So all of our young children are always starting off in the shallow end, just so they're feeling safe and supported all the way through. And then as they progress and get better, we've got that deep water as well, that we can actually do that survival swimming and things like that for them.
And I'm glad you brought that up. So the survival swimming and those actual skills around the pool, like being able to pull themselves out and all that sort of stuff. Talk through some of that.
So that's such a huge part of our program. So we do the learn to swim side of things, and then a component of every single lesson is purely water safety. So we've got water safety set skills that, we're teaching children to swim without goggles. We're doing simulated fall-ins. What happens if we do fall in, where's the safest place in the swimming pool to be, and then all the way through to, the life jacket swimming and what to do in different sort of environments and things like that. So it's all sort of, we've got a nice curriculum that we've got, from start, building blocks all the way through, nice progressions all the way through the levels.
That curriculum is quite important because, and it's quite visible, right? I guess you can see the progress for the child. If we're in a situation where you've picked up a group of kids from a centre and you've taken them in, and there's a set of 5 kids, what are they doing while someone's in the water and the instructor's with 1 or 2 of them? What's going on in that phase, just so we can get the picture of that?
So essentially, if you're coming in with a nice centre group, we would then split them into ability levels. So we do an assessment, timid child or unconfident child that's never had experience before, all the way through to the ones that have been at the beach over summer and are pretty confident.
And catching waves.
They can catch waves and everything like that. So we assess them initially, group them all up, and then we take them through the motions and go from there and keep extending them all the way through.
That ability to extend and read and recognise what's going on in the child's psyche when they're coming in the room, that obviously takes some skill and honing and that's a relationship based skill too. So what's your block length and your extended or your expected block length to help them progress? Is it an 8-week block? And then...
No, so we carry on throughout the year. So basically, once you're booked in forever until you decide that you want to stop.
Yep.
So we changed that side of things quite a number of years ago, because swimming isn't an after-school activity. It is a life skill.
It's a life skill, yes.
So that is... you don't go to school and learn to read for a term and then you're the best reader.
I've left school.
I've left
don't
school,
need to read now. Good point.
Swimming is that. It's always building blocks. You're always going, it can get better and better and better, safer.
That's a great point.
And all that sort of thing. So we just changed that side of things to ensure that that's what we're teaching. And that's what we're trying to portray to everybody as well. So essentially you come in once a week or more if that's what you opt to do, but it's once a week until you choose to stop.
Sure. And when it comes down to, I love that you've said that, because it is a life skill. It's like you said, you don't just read and then finish school and then you don't need to read anymore. What are some of the key points that we need for safety, for kids to understand, or for parents to support their children to understand around safety?
I suppose the biggest thing if you remove the child out of the situation, it's the parent and actually supervising their children in and around water, because things can change so quick.
Yes.
At the beach especially, but even just around the pool, they can toddle off, fall in, and you'd have no idea. So biggest thing is supervision in and around water, and then after that it's the confidence, and then us just the repetition of lessons, reiterating to and enforcing skills and making sure that children know what to do if they get themselves into a situation. So if they did fall in, what do you do? If they did get caught in a rip, what do you do? Or just getting themselves safe.
Yes. And just finally, I know it's just such a critical, again, that's why we really sought you out to get you on, because it's such a critical piece. you run it with the childcare groups and things like that. So talk through that. What does that look like basically in relationship?
Yeah, so basically we form nice relationships with childcare centres, and that there just enables the centre to come into us and bring their children in to learn the life skill, and it also takes that barrier away for parents that are time poor and they haven't got enough. The parents have got things going on all the time. It's a hard gig being a parent. So being at preschool, they can come in, that we transport them in, they do their lesson, they can achieve. Parents have transparency as well when they do book in on the app as well, and they can see little Johnny has achieved this, this, and this over the preschool lesson. And then they're also awarded with certificate or with ribbons as well at the completion.
Oh, hang on. So you've got an app?
Yes, got an app.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Oh, talk through that. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so got an app that basically has our whole curriculum on it, and so as Johnny's in his very first lesson, you can see what goals and what we need to achieve or what we're going to achieve within that particular class level. And there's a 3-star rating that basically you've attempted it, you mastered it, and
excelled or something.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
wow.
So, and that just gives parents that transparency that my child is improving. It might not look all the time that they're improving, because progression goes up and down like this.
Yep.
But it shows that nice solid picture that they are.
Yes.
And we are actually doing our job and assessing, and
we
know your child.
Well, you educate us as well,
Yeah.
Well, that's cool about the app. I didn't know that. That's obviously you're a bit of an entrepreneurial spirit too in yourself. What's next?
Well, we just want to really establish ourselves in the Papamoa community.
Yep.
We've been here nearly a year now. We have established ourselves, but now is the time to actually give back to the community. And we actually deliver an awesome program. And I can happily say that's Fulton Swim School, and be proud of that as well. So it's a fantastic place to be, and we just want to get into the community and start sharing the love and get amongst it all here.
Well, we appreciate you coming in, Dan, because I know, again, I reiterate, it's such an important skill. Again, we don't want to keep reading every summer about the amount of people drowning, and with it being lost out of primary schools, which is a real tragedy. Businesses like yours become even more critical to the health and safety spaces, because we live on a damn island, for children and surviving, and adults actually, quite frankly. So we really appreciate you and your work and the work of the instructors. I guess you're probably always looking out for swim instructors.
Always looking out for swim instructors, yes.
Interestingly, of that, remember I told you about that 5-year-old, my first class was 32 5-year-olds. I had a kid called Bree Toole, and then I ran into her and she was working... while she was studying, she was a swim instructor for Baywave, and I ran into her. I said, see, those lessons must have worked. I said, I do remember you screaming in the pool, but And
that's always a really special thing, is when you see those, I've got kids that I used to teach, and now they're coming up through the ranks. And, they end up being swim teachers as well, so you've done a good job.
When they go to the Olympics, mate, you say, well, you're welcome.
Exactly.
Dan, awesome, we appreciate it. So Fulton Swim School, we'll put all the links and show notes and things, and for all their pages and everything. You need to go and check it out. We appreciate you coming in, mate.
Cool. Lovely.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.